Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today for this talk on understanding the causes of pain. Our subject is focused on identifying the causes and types of pain, Ayurveda. So, of course, many people, they want to know what the treatment is for their pain. I mean, people contact me and say, give me some herbs for my joint pain, give me some herbs for my sciatica, give me some herbs for my headache. But in fact, it's very difficult to treat somebody over the phone without any information, because to be able to properly treat somebody, you have to know the causes and to some degree the type of pain that they have. The cause of the condition is more important. I mean, once you know the cause, and then you can eliminate the cause or start addressing the cause, type of pain, then you're able to adjust the treatment accordingly to the type of person. So it's very important to, first of all, accept our pain as a very important signal being sent to the body. This is like the body's always communicating with us. When you're tired, you yawn. When you're full, you burp. Before you have gas before you need to go to the toilet. So these are signs that the body's always sending to you. So one of the signs that the body sends to you, there's having a tissue damage or serious problem, is pain. So when there's pain, there's inflammation, and this type of inflammation is generally destroying the tissue, whether it's an autoimmune condition where the immune system is destroying the tissue, or there's toxins in the body that are in the tissue to the point where there's becomes pain. You cut yourself, there's going to be pain. Once it starts to heal, then the pain will decrease and the healing process can take place. So as long as you have the pain, you're not healing, you're in that tissue damaging stage. So, obviously we want to reduce the inflammation down so we don't feel the pain, but then we want to keep going by removing the cause so the pain doesn't keep coming back. So just taking a painkiller is like turning the alarm off in a burning house. I mean, it's obviously more pleasant not having the ringing sound in our ears and the alarm going off, but we're not addressing maybe the fire in our basement. It's better to look around and let the pain go, and then look around and try to find the causes of the pain. So it's very important to accept it. So, of course, pain can be both a disease or a symptom. First, you should classify your pain, whether it's a health condition or it's a disease that has on its own. A disease, of course, has a pathology. It has a path that it takes. It doesn't. Chronic health condition. This would, examples of a condition that has a pathology would be like poor digestion, leading to poor elimination, leading to constipation, colon, and then ultimately, pain in the colon, diverticulitis, or even a ruptured colon. Even on your skin, if skin gets too dry, then it cracks, and then you have pain. If the nerves become too depleted without a lack of nutrients and fat, then nerves become overly sensitive, and then it can be painful. If the muscles aren't getting enough nutrients, we could say magnesium, calcium, and other important nutrients, or they're overworked, and they're going to feel painful. And of course, if toxins get in the joints, toxins get in the muscles that are unable to be removed by the body, or in the case of fat, they're being stored in the fat, then you're going to have a pain as a result of these toxins. Now, of course, when I say toxins, we're really referring to a very broad area. I want you to understand it's not just the lead that we breathed in before they removed lead from the cars. That elderly people still have lead from the days we had lead, and there's heavy metals and other types of toxins. But also your body is creating toxins, like uric acid is a toxic. So you have too much protein in your diet. This is a big flaw with a lot of high protein diets, is they're creating uric acid, which is toxic for the body, can lead to joint pain, arthritis, gout. So, and that could just be coming from your diet in that case. So that would be part of the cause of too high of a protein diet. And of course, creatine levels could also go up. Too much sugar and sweets in the body, and snacking, and then blood sugar rises, and then high blood sugar, in a sense, becomes toxic at that point, damaging to the nerve tissue, and can result in neuropathy, tingling, numbness, and damage to the tissue. Even cholesterol, excess unhealthy fat in your blood, is a type of toxin. So we're not just, when we talk about toxins in your blood or toxins as a source of pain, we're not just referring to, environmental toxins that we're taking in from pesticides and chemicals and additives and preservatives and nitrates in our food, our meat in particular, that's are carcinogenic, or Teflon that's on the frying pan, or charred food. This is all carcinogenic, toxic, and this, of course, is a big factor. But we also can create our own toxins by poor digestion, too much acidity, poor elimination, poor circulation, even lack of sweat. When you're not sweating, you're not eliminating. This can create accumulation of toxins in your skin. So we're going to get to that, but definitely this accumulation of toxins is a major cause of pain, according to Ayurveda. So first, make sure your pain is not a symptom of another condition. Second, let's look at the 3 types of pain according to Ayurveda. Of course, it's the tri-doshic system. Shula is the name of pain in Ayurveda, and of course they had pain thousands of years ago, and they found many cures and natural treatments for pain. Oil massages, anti-inflammatory diet, many analgesic herbs allowed them to very successfully manage pain, as Ayurveda does today with herbs and oil treatments and an anti-inflammatory diet, which I will still cover a little bit here. But that anti-inflammatory diet has been covered in detail in previous videos. So the first type of pain, according to Ayurveda, is a type of vata pain. This comes from the qualities of a person who is dry and cold and depleted. This is a person who's generally thin, cold, dry by nature, their body. They may have put on a little weight later in life, but their nature is thin, cold, and dry. So their joints are, we'll take muscle joint pain as an example. So if you have vata type of joint pain, it hurts when you move. It's like a little grinding. Oh, it hurts when you exercise. Feels better when you stay still. And it's not really hot and burning hot. And particularly if you don't move, it actually feels good with heat. So you put a hot pad on it, you take a hot bath, relief, because part of the reason for this type of pain, this one category we're talking about, is due to dry, cold nature. So even if you have a nerve pain, joint pain, muscle pain, and it's not hot, and you tend to be dry, and you'll find hot bath, hot oils will. Sounds very simple, but it's true. I mean, dryness contributes to pain, just like we mentioned earlier. If you have dry colon, then it's going to hurt. You're going to have hemorrhoids and pain. If you have dry skin, it's going to crack. And even if the respiratory system is dry, when you breathe, it's going to pain. If the throat's really dry, when you cough, it's going to have pain. So dryness is a big source of pain. And just like when the mountains, when they're all dried up, and then it can easily start a fire, which we could say is like inflammation. So when you're dry, then it's easy to create inflammation, damage to the tissue, creating inflammation. High and cold quality, that's one type of pain. So if you have joint pain, just ask yourself, is it dry and cold, and does it feel better with hot and warm bath, and feel better when you don't move, when you just lie still. Second type of pain we call pitta type of pain, and this type of pitta prakriti, or pitta body type, is hot, warm, and sharp. So this is usually a sharp pain. Feel it. If you want inflammation in your body, just touch your body somewhere where you don't have any pain, and then put your hand gently where you do have pain, on your wrist, or maybe some heat. Oh yeah, you can feel heat. I don't feel any heat. I'm looking around here. I don't feel any inflammation, but you can spot it pretty precisely, right down to where a person has pain, just by gently feeling that temperature. Inflammatory, we call pitta pain. Ayurveda is very sophisticated. We don't just have take this pill or take this herb or take an aspirin for your pain. They have to understand it, and that's the purpose of this webinar, is to try to understand your pain, classify it, understand some of the causes, so then you'll be able to more accurately treat it instead of just guessing. This pitta type of pain, you'll notice hot bath won't make you feel better. So cold water will make you feel better because you are inflamed. And then hot foods like ginger and cayenne and chili and garlic only going to make it worse, not better. And of course, we can read that many of these things would help. Here is anti-inflammatory and things. But if you take if you have this type of pain, you take a lot of ginger, and particularly with pepper in it, you're going to have more pain. So it's a good example right there. Misdiagnose yourself or just guess, then you may just completely pick the wrong treatment. So you have to see if you're in this category of this kind of hot inflammatory pain. Then you want to have cooling foods and coconut water, cooling foods, not hot spices and coriander and cilantro and melons and even sweet fruits and things. All things that are cooling like this will even be used for this type of person, and they like it. They're hot, they're burning, and the cool melon or the cold sugarcane juice feels cooling and brings the body temperature down, and the heat comes down, and it reduces their pain. This is not to say but we have to understand it so we know which type of treatment to go in. So the third type of pain, and we're really simplifying it just down to three. In fact, there's categories, but the third is kapha type of pain. Kapha is usually a heavy person, tends to be overweight. So their pain is kind of swelling and blockage. So they feel better when they move and they exercise, they get going, and they don't feel it. And it generally starts off with stiffness. The muscles are stiff and the body's stiff, and then it slowly becomes this kind of like a dull pain that starts taking place, and it's kind of stays there. Well, the pitta pain is sharp and intense and like a toothache, and then the vata pain is kind of coming and going. So the type of how the pain is also telling you. Well, this type of kapha pain, where it's kind of a swelling, excess water retention, edema, excess weight, and blockage and congestion in the body. Things get blocked. The colon gets blocked. Circulation gets blocked. The lymphatic system, the absorption of nutrients is poor, malabsorption. So you have all these type of blockages in the body, creating the lethargic metabolism and type of toxins. We're going to talk about that. So that would be the third type of joint pain. It's kind of swelling type of pain, and they're going to feel good, losing weight, getting down the swelling in the body of the edema. So the treatments would be completely different. If you had a person have this dry, cold, cracking pain, that's one type, upper type, and then pitta, this inflamed, sharp, painful pain, and then the third type, this swelling, kind of dull pain. So the foods for these three types would be different, and the herbal treatments for this, and even the home treatments would all be different for this type of pain, because it's a very different type of pain. So it's good to have it in that category. And we'll have to, in another video, talk about those specific treatments. But let me get to the heart of our subject here, and that is some of these causes of pain. And what causes pain? There's many causes, but the main one that Ayurveda focuses on, and most people have, is this accumulation of toxins. And as I said earlier, toxins, or it could be uric acid, high cholesterol, high blood metals, and generally these toxins, they're accumulated in our own system through besides environmental toxins, but the ones we also make ourselves, called ama, come from our poor digestion, when we're not hungry and we're eating, or where our stomach acids are too high and we're kind of having too much acidity, we're not properly digesting, or we're constipated and we're not eliminating well. We have a certain autotoxicity that takes place, an accumulation of toxins in our body that we're not able to eliminate properly by not sweating, going to the toilet and urinating sufficiently, and these toxins aren't eliminated. Plus, we ourselves, our body, can be making toxins through our own poor digestion and even our lifestyle habits. So this accumulation of toxins takes years, and then it moves into the bloodstream, and then it circulates in the bloodstream. Then it builds up in the joints, kind of like uric acid builds up in your big toe, and you can get gout. I mean, that's a example, but Ayurveda says all types of this joint pain, amavata type of, the name of arthritis in Ayurveda basically means this type of ama or toxins, are stuck in your joints. So that's why the herbs work so well, because the herbs aren't just relieving the pain; they're cleaning out the deep tissue, cleaning out the joints, cleaning out the muscles, and opening up all the eliminating channels, and helping these toxins to move and get back into the bloodstream, and then are eliminated, through the liver and the bile and the stool and the sweat. So to kind of unlodge them. So this is probably the number one reason for toxins, particularly arthritic pain, joint pain, muscle pain, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid condition, of course, gout, are from this type of accumulation of toxins. That's why the elimination is so important. You don't want to be missing your bowel movement a day because there with toxins that needs to get out. You don't want to have dry skin and not be sweating because you're sweating a little bit to get rid of toxins and dryness. So if you're dry, plus you're using underarm deodorant to stop you, antiperspirant, I should say, so you're stopping your body from sweating, then this is create an accumulation of toxins over time, and you could have skin problems, rashes, psoriasis, eczema from not allowing those toxins to get out through your tissue, and particularly your skin, and then you can have types of skin problems. The next main cause of pain would be poor nutrition. Particularly when you have cramping in the muscles, you have cramping, this we know now is, can be magnesium or calcium depending on the type of cramp. But, mineral deficiency, all trace minerals, not having enough salt or, real salt in the diet. You're just having like sodium chloride, table salt without having trace minerals. So you can end up with a trace mineral deficiency, magnesium deficiency. So if you find yourself getting muscle cramp, magnesium, and you have nutritional deficiencies. Of course, just taking the magnesium is kind of a modern approach. It would be better to change your diet and get the nutrients from your food. But if you feel dependent on these calcium and magnesium for relief, particularly magnesium for pain, then you can assume that you have a nutritional deficiency. So deficiency most of the time it's coming from poor digestion, and also the accumulation of toxins is coming from poor digestion. So just poor digestion can create colon pain, abdominal pain, ultimately ulcers. But more important, it's going to create malabsorption, poor nutrition, and accumulation of toxins. So we could say the first two categories of toxins and poor nutrition are really related back to poor digestion. It's going to create the poor nutrition and the accumulation of toxins. So it's probably a compounded factor. In fact, most people for most chronic conditions, there's usually compounded causes. Not sleeping enough, staying up too late, eating at irregular times, poor digestion, which creating poor absorption, poor nutrition, accumulation of toxins. A lot of exercise to get these circulation going up, and these toxins remain in you. And in your later ages and later time in life, then you'll start to feel the pain, mostly in the joints, first in the muscles. But another cause of pain is imbalances to the nervous system. Of course, when we think of pain and nerves, we think of sciatica, nerve pain, or maybe a toothache. That's a type of nerve pain. But if the nerves are depleted and exposed, like a nerve pain where it's exposed when it's not protected, then of course it can become inflamed and be painful. And this often comes from the low-fat diet, not having enough fat, not having enough oil, because we know that what is protecting every cell in our body is the cell membrane. Cell membrane is made from fat. Our skin is made from fat, and it's protecting our body as well. So everything is being protected by fat. Just like I said earlier, that vata type of pain hurts because it's grinding because there's not enough fat in the diet. So the joints are literally rubbing against each other. So 30, 40 years of a low-fat diet and maybe no dairy or something because you're worried about your weight and you remain nice and skinny, but now you don't have enough fat and the joints will start to hurt, and this is when you can also have nerve problems, lack of fat. That's why, oil pulling feels good. I mean, even if you have a toothache and you put coconut oil on it, you get some relief because, it's not exposing the nerve anymore. That's coating it, it's protecting it, it's soothing it. So, a fat is very important to protect the nervous system. That can be one cause of pain, just low-fat joint pain, nerve pain, all can come from a lack of fat. Next area for nerve is just inflamed nerves coming from too much acidity. And of course now modern science has learned a lot about this alkaline acidity, but Ayurveda understood this a long time ago. And this pitta type of people have this burning and this type of, this is often coming from acidity. So, acidic foods like tomatoes, eggplants, you know what I'm getting at here, the nightshades, paprika, bell peppers, white potato, these are all from the same category called the nightshades. We know they're very inflammatory. And tomato and tomato sauce and canned tomatoes would probably be the worst. And that's because they are acidic. And this acidic nature, it creates a type of inflammation in our tissues and affects the nervous system and creates a type of inflammatory nerve pain. So that's a cause. Another cause is, of course, is stress. The accumulation of stress. We're all a little stressed here in our modern society, paying bills and everything, but too much stress, accumulation of stress, not letting go of the stress, because tomorrow you're going to have some more, so you might as well just relax tonight and forget about it, because you have to let go. But this stress affects the nervous system, affects the digestion, affects the mental state, and this can lead to poor immunity, headaches, and other types of nerve pain. And that's our next category for causes, and that's low immunity. This comes from sometimes a restricted diet. We all like to fast and stay thin in our society today, so we're restricting ourselves, skipping meals, having really just juicing, maybe not having enough fat, maybe not having enough oil, and maybe not having enough food. So, then the immune system can become depleted with its you're detoxing too much, skipping meals too much, and not properly supporting yourself. So when the immune system becomes weak, it can you can lead to autoimmune conditions where the immune system is attacking its own tissue, and then you can have pain from that. So immune system should remain strong. And also another cause of pain people don't think about is disrupting, we could say, these biological rhythms in our life, like not sleeping at the right time, not eating at the time, not going to the toilet at the right time. Just if you just hold in your urine and don't go to the toilet when the call is there, you're going to get a little pain. If you don't go to the toilet when it's time to release your fecal matter, then you're going to have pain. So same goes, and if you don't eat and you skip the meal when you have acidity here, and you're not eating and not drinking anything, then you can end up with a stomach acid reflux, and even ulcer resulting in pain. And if you don't sleep, then you on time, or don't sleep enough, then this lowers your immunity, increases your stress, and can contribute to more pain in indirect ways. So you should really look at these areas that I mentioned here to try to identify these causes of your pain. Then you'll be able to properly treat it. You there a little bit. Make sure, first of all, your pain is not a symptom of another condition, because that can be pain in your chest. Pill. You want to address your high blood pressure. So that's the first thing, to see that your pain is not a symptom of another condition, and then you should focus on that condition and just use the pain as a measuring tool to help you understand if the condition is getting better. And then second, you want to classify your pain, whether it's just dry and cold and likes nice, warm, comforting, and oily type of treatments, or it's this hot type of inflamed pain where it's going to do better with cooling foods and not hot. And then third type, this kapha type, which is swelling, which you need to lose weight, active, get circulation going, get the lymph, adjust the body. That's the second thing you want to do, is get into one of these three categories. And then third, look at all the possible causes. And I would say that digestion is number one, poor digestion, weak digestion, and creating more toxins. People come to me with arthritis and joint pain. You can see I have a lot of testimonials of successfully helping people to find relief from these chronic health conditions, particularly pain. And that's because Ayurveda has, I think, an accurate understanding of the cause. And this is, in most cases, accumulation of toxins in the joints, in the muscles, or in the nerves. So there's a certain detox taking place. But it's not a type of detox where you're cleaning out the colon and the liver. It's what we call deep tissue detox. You're cleaning out the joints. Sometimes it's necessary to clean out the blood or the liver or the colon or kidneys as well. But you know, when you have this joint pain or muscle pain, then you need herbs and treatment that are able to detox at that deep tissue level. That's why in Ayurveda they do this, panchakarma. Of course, you know, is a type of Ayurvedic treatment where you have to really check in for a couple of weeks or a month, and they give you warm oil massages for days on end, for a few days. And this is loosening up and getting all the toxins, getting things moving. Karma, 5 actions to clean the toxins out of you once they kind of get them loosened up and moving. So if anybody's ever been to India and done panchakarma, you can see that they can get rid of the pain very quickly in a matter of a couple days with this approach. And the beauty is that it may not come back. I've known people that had serious back pain their whole life and did 2-3 days of these hot oil massage with herbs in the oils, where they pounded on the back with the herbs, and then the pain didn't come back for years. So it is very effective because they understand what the cause is. The cause was the toxins built up in the lower back, around the spine, and they loosened it up with the hot oil and the herbs, and then they got it out of the body through various treatments, including enemas and liver cleanses and things to help the body then eliminate these toxins. So I would say start with digestion, and that's what I do with every new patient that comes to me with joint pain in particular. They'll, of course, the herbs, I take it a little slower and fix their digestion, so their digestion is strong, healthy, and have good appetite and good elimination, so they're going to the toilet, get to sleep good, start, you know, making sure they're building up their immunity, becoming stronger, and making sure they're not on a low-fat diet, increase the fat in most cases in the diet. If they're that depleted type, obviously they're the third type, swelling and clogged up, we want to reduce down the fat. But if they're thin and underweight and have this type of dry joint pain, then we're increasing the fat. So 2 different types of pain will types of treatment. And of course, in Ayurveda, Nirgindi oil is used for joint pain, and there's Maharanana oil, also used for joint pain and inflammatory pain. This works very well. And then if you're dry and thin and cold, then you can go get this formula called Raj Gugulu. Yogaraj is one word, and Gugulu is a type of resin. Yogaraj Gugulu. This is for dry, cold joint pain, and this is what we give out for this type of person who has it. It works very well. You know, about 8 ounces over 2-3 months, and most people find relief within a few weeks, and complete symptoms can be gone in a matter of months of taking this herb twice a day. It's actually not an herb; it's a formula. Yogaraj Gugulu. Now, that's for the cold, dry type. Now, if you're hot and inflamed and you have a lot of heat in your body, then you take a Kaishor Gugulu. Kaishor Gugulu is for this type of inflammatory, hot, cool body down, cools the body, brings down inflammation, and then helps to clean out these joints. And then for kapha, there's other choices. You could just use Triphala Gugulu. It's kind of a cleansing. And Gugulu is an analgesic herb. There's many that are pain relieving. I mean, even aspirin came from white willow bark. So they were having white willow bark tea long before there was aspirin, and I still have white willow bark tea because it still works for headaches and type of pain. Those are just showing you that Ayurveda breaks down, conditions like pain into certain categories, causes, and then has specific treatments for that type of pain in this case. It could have, so that's why you can't really tell a person over the phone, "Oh, take this for your pain," because you have to know the person, diagnose the person, understand the type of pain they have, the causes, and we covered. But in all cases, if you have an inflammatory condition, you should follow what's considered the Ayurvedic anti-inflammatory diet, which is very different than the nutritional approach. Of course, Ayurveda is ancient, so they didn't have the nutrition A, B, C, D, E like we do. But pain isn't really, in most cases, isn't a nutritional problem. It can be, but mostly a toxin problem. But it can also be nutritional, as we know, in the sense of lack of minerals, and magnesium can create cramping and pain. But in Ayurveda, they want to get it into a particular category and then treat that category. But just in closing here, I do want to give out some guidelines. I gave you those herbal formulas; those are very important. Those can be found online. And Banyan Botanicals has those formulas, and people have found that they're very effective, particularly if they match it to themselves properly. If you pick the wrong one, it may not work. But you also really need to change the diet. You need to improve the digestion. You need to improve the absorption of minerals, and follow a somewhat anti-inflammatory diet. And that, of course, is eliminating the nightshades, tomatoes, eggplants, paprika, bell pepper, and white potato, as I mentioned. And also too much chili or hot spice or cayenne. These can increase it, particularly for the pitta type, less so for the clogged kapha type. And I want to say something about turmeric, because I know a lot of people are taking turmeric for pain. I had a roommate, and he was taking these big, 2 or 3 tablespoons of turmeric a day for pain. And so I asked him, "How much of this turmeric you have to take to get rid of that pain?" He said, "A lot." So I said, "Well, I have some herbs. You probably don't have to take as much, because in Ayurveda, we don't really use that much turmeric for pain and inflammation because it's too weak. I mean, it's inflammatory, but understand you'd have to take a lot, and that's exactly what I've seen people do: is take mass doses of turmeric, 3 or 4 tablespoons 2 or 3 times a day. But this Yogaraj Gugulu, Kaishor Gugulu, these formulas here, half teaspoon twice a day, and you'll get even better results. A good anti-inflammatory formula, not Shilajit, Boswellia. Boswellia is related to frankincense, and of course, the essential oil, people are well aware of the anti-inflammatory qualities of frankincense, and they're selling it just for that. But mostly in Ayurveda, we use it in a powder form. Mix it up. Sometimes you can mix it up. Satori herbs like amlaki, a little ginger, a little bit of pepper, and you can throw in some turmeric if you want to thin it out a little bit. But these anti-inflammatory herbs, particularly Wellia, more anti-inflammatory turmeric. So there's no point to be taking turmeric capsules. You'd have to take too much. And turmeric really should be cooked. In Ayurveda, it's not used that much. In herbal formulas, it's mostly used in a cooking sense. It needs to be with fat, it needs to be with oil. That's why we did this golden milk. So particularly if you're that kapha type, pitta type person with a hot inflammatory type and a strong digestion, and you digest dairy quite well, then this I think is quite good. Just like with the vata, the hot bath is very good. So we have to adjust the diet, adjust the herbs, adjust the lifestyle to the individual, and help them to identify some of these habits that are increasing their pain. Of course, sugar is very inflammatory, so this always has to go. You can't be having your donuts and your cookies and your crackers. And have some fruit. In fact, for the pitta type, fruit will help with the pain. Sweet fruits, bananas, dates, melons will help to bring down the pain for pitta type. But for that overweight kapha type, these sweets will further clog them up. So different person, different diet. So you can't say that everybody should follow one diet. The only real rule if you have pain and diet is, you want to have good digestion, eliminate most animal products except ghee, and eliminate those nightshades. That would be the across the board guidelines. But after that, it has to be specific per individual based on their type of pain. So I encourage you to go watch some of my older videos on treatments for pain, because I wanted to really focus on some of these causes and types of pain so you can classify your pain better. But I want to assure you that Ayurveda is very good at managing pain and reducing it down through natural means, through herbal oils, herbal formulas, and anti-inflammatory diets. These diets in Ayurveda are not so restrictive as you would think. I mean, they're actually very focused on what the body wants. So most people are very happy with these diets. Difficult and highly restrictive diets like we're often used to here. There's much more reliance on taking the herbs, because the herbs work quick, they're very powerful, and they actually do the job of going in there, cleaning out these toxins, and helping them get out of the body. So there's usually the herbs for inflammation, herbs to detox the deep tissue, and then there's other herbs to keep the bowels and the liver going. So there could be like 3 sets of herbs. And if you're a stressful person and anxiety and not sleeping well, there could be some more herbs to help you relax and sleep, so the stress stays down. Because many people know that when their stress gets high, they clearly have more pain. So I hope I covered my subject there, causes of inflammation and pain. And I didn't cover so much cures in this particular webinar, but I hope I sent you in the right direction. I hope I made you look at your pain in a different way. And I hope you don't afraid of pain, but you use it as a guideline to know this is an area you need to focus on right away and learn to manage it through understanding your own body better, understanding the causes of pain. Okay? So contact me if you'd like more assistance or you'd like to better understand pain. That's my work, to do this type of investigation and to tailor programs and foods, diets, and herbal formulas to your specific needs. So thank you very much for your understanding and your patience for remaining here despite our technical difficulties in the beginning. I hope it was a good webinar. It's a beautiful day clearly outside here in Ojai, California. So I look forward to getting out there and enjoying the rest of the day. I can hear my ducks in the background looking for me. So we're going to go see my ducks and birds. So thank you very much.